Our model will be coming through this doorway, and they need access to the paths on either side.
These men decide what America wears. They are the heads of the nation's largest department stores. They have flown 9,000 miles to spend a gala evening with this man, S.T. King. What draws them to Hong Kong, the last citadel of free enterprise? What does King have to offer that they cannot find at home? This week on Enterprise, Hong Kong dresses up.
I'm Eric Severide. Mention the Chinese clothing industry, and this is what people envision, the traditional Chinese garb. But the Chinese in Hong Kong are producing something a lot more modern these days, designer clothes for fashion-conscious Americans. The U.S. appetite for designer clothing is huge, and Hong Kong is doing everything possible to satisfy it. The Hong Kong economy is, for the most part, unregulated. There are no antitrust laws, tariffs, or unions. So businessmen make their own rules responding to supply and demand. Clothing manufacturing can be completely flexible, meeting impossible deadlines, performing vital tasks at the last minute. And that's why scores of American companies have taken their business to a tiny island 8,000 miles away. This week on Enterprise, we look at one of the kings of Hong Kong entrepreneurship, a man who does whatever he must to get and keep his share of the market.
Mercy. Oh, Sassoon.
If my selling price is $1, I'd be very happy if I can make 6 cents.
Calvin Klein brings you something beautiful. Calvin Klein Activewear.
Where's the fabric?
Sergio Valente, Sergio Valente, oh Sergio, ooh Sergio, you caught my eye.
Your name, our make. Sergio Valente and Wearbest, no mistake.
Chances are S.T. King made the designer jeans you are wearing. He doesn't design or market them. He just sews them to order, $23 million worth a year. S.T. succeeds in attracting American buyers because he can offer quality work at a better price than anyone else. $10 for a pair of jeans that will retail for more than $40.
I hope you like it.
Yeah, Brown, what do you think of the stitching? Is it clean? Yeah.
It's very nice.
He will also accept impossible deadlines. He can do all this because he operates in the manufacturer's paradise that is Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Sergio Valente is only one of S.T.'s customers. He also manufactures 90% of Sassoon, all of Dijon, a children's line, and 45% of Calvin Klein's corduroy pants. Spring in Hong Kong. Buyers from all over the world gather here to place their fall orders. Many of them will find their way to S.T.'s company, Wearbest, a 6-story building in downtown Kowloon. One of Wearbest's major clients is Sassoon, a company based in Los Angeles despite its French accent.
ST, this is a need. I need, it's a must.
Buyer Dov Haddad comes here because he knows ST works
For
fast.
the next 4 months, it's very important. It's a back-to-school season, starting with the holiday. We have to be in the store very deeply. So I need the quantities, and also I need to reduce the lead time. Because what makes the difference with my competition is the timing.
I see.
have to be on time with the right stuff to the right store at the right moment.
To give you a sensible answer, though, give me 1 or 2 days. Let me work with our production department. I will try to get to the closest possible figure.
ST committed to delivering 75,000 pairs of the new Sassoon design in only 30 days. Each pair of pants fashioned from this corduroy cloth will bring him a profit of 76 cents, if he can deliver in time. Wearbest's 2,000 employees, working on 6 floors like this, will produce the Sassoon order and several others at the same time, all for the American market. Contrary to cliches about Hong Kong sweatshops, Wearbest is clean and modern. ST's pride and joy is this computer room. The computer helps him meet his constant deadlines and lowers his production costs. Patterns are programmed, then arranged for maximum yield from every swath of cloth. ST has the capacity to fill special orders on short notice, but the risk is considerable. Should he fail to meet the deadline, he will have to air freight the Sassoon order at his own expense, $2 per pair of pants, and his profit will turn to loss. Hong Kong's unique business environment enables ST King to take this kind of risk and stand a good chance of making a profit. Hong Kong was born of a business transaction. In 1841, Captain Charles Elliot, Royal British Navy, seized the small island for Britain. The Chinese had confiscated 2,000 chests of British opium, and Elliot wanted compensation. His superiors were not pleased. The place is barren, with scarcely enough ground for the requisite buildings. If we accept the excellent harbor, there is nothing to recommend it. It will never become a trading center. Right in the middle of the spring buying season, a new governor arrives from London. As Her Majesty's representative here, Sir Edward Yude's power will be virtually unlimited. By reserving political authority to themselves, the British have spurred Hong Kong's entrepreneurial drive even further. Since the door to politics is closed, the only avenue to wealth and power is business. But Britain's foothold here is not as secure as it appears. China is only 3 miles away, and many of these manufacturers have their factories in a section of the colony leased from China. The lease expires in just 17 years. If the Chinese reclaim these so-called new territories, Hong Kong will not survive. This looming uncertainty may help to explain the feverish pitch of business. British economic policy here is best described as aggressive non-intervention. As in this simple open market, the businessman is free to thrive or perish depending solely on his ability to satisfy customer demand. This is one of the few places in the world where a man can have an idea in the morning, be in business by noon, and be making a profit by 9 p.m. without dealing with the government. Hong Kong's labor force is an important asset. Workers here are highly motivated, skilled, and relatively cheap. Catherine Chung, hard at work on the Sassoon order, has been at Wearbest for 7 years and earns $300 a month. Catherine's incentive to speed is a simple one. Wearbest employees are paid on a piecework basis. They average 75 sewing operations an hour, 600 per working day. When they complete a bundle of 10 jobs, they tag it with their own number. Their monthly wage is based on the number of tags, with a 20% bonus for punctuality. Like ST King himself, Catherine must have the flexibility to keep in step with market demand. She has no union and receives no benefits from Wearbest. ST is free to lay her off the minute his demand drops. But at the same time, he must pay her a competitive wage or she will shift to another job. Recruitment by posters like these on the walls of every factory street goes on constantly, and the labor force moves, following the dollar. Hong Kong workers have a high level of technical skills. This enables them to move from one industry to another, from toys to watches to electronics and back to sewing machines, just as ST himself shifted from plastics to brassieres to pants.
To keep them, besides money, we should have good relations. I've been in my business for 24 years. I'm very happy sometimes I walk around my factory, my workshops. We smile at each other because I know this face for the past 15 years. And the average is like 6 years.
A night on the town for Catherine and her fellow workers often means a shopping expedition to Woman's Street. Hong Kong is an irresistible 24-hour bazaar. The inexpensive clothes here are mostly seconds discarded by factories like Wearbest. This herbal tea shop specializes in a potent elixir made from boiled down turtle shells. It is said to promote long life and fertility. Catherine and her friends are in no hurry to find a husband, but they all agree on the qualities he should have.
啦，自己即係做即係自己做嘢啦，又唔好食煙，又唔好賭錢，最唔好食煙。
Catherine comes home to a public housing complex 15 minutes walk from Wearbest. All 6 members of the Chung family live together in this 10 by 12 room. Rent is only $22 a month. Needless to say, there is no privacy. Despite their cramped quarters, the Chungs are not poor. Except for Catherine's 2 brothers, still in school, everybody works. Catherine's mother earns $100 a month as a cleaning lady in the Shanghai Hong Kong Bank. Catherine and her sister each contribute $200 a month. Mr. Chung, who drives a delivery truck, earns $400 a month. Then why not move to a larger space? The Chungs are determined to go into business for themselves one day and are saving every penny.
There are 7 of you living together here. Would you like to live by yourself to have more privacy?
我諗同埋一齊住都幾好啊，即係大家啲感情好啲嘅。如果出去住咧，就即係大家冇成日相處咧。分散啊嘛，分散咗都唔同啊嘛。即係好似我爸爸話，即係話如果分散咗，大家冇成日見面，啲感情會冇咁好啦。
Even if Catherine wanted to move away, she couldn't afford to live alone. Space is the most expensive commodity here, and the waiting list for government housing like the Chungs now stands at 8 years. With a population of 5.5 million, the colony is already dangerously overcrowded, and illegal aliens from the mainland continue to pour in every year. More public housing would be one solution, but since the colonial government is free to ignore public demand, it neglects social services and gets by on low taxes instead. The other side of the island is a tropical paradise, but this is reserved for the very rich. Since space is so scarce here, success is typically measured by how high one lives on Victoria Peak, where rents are the most expensive in the world. Every Sunday, S.T. King's family gathers at his home for afternoon tea. As in all traditional Chinese families, this amounts to a board meeting.
This is my youngest daughter, and she graduated when?
S.T.'s daughter Yolanda, a USC graduate, is about to start a shirt factory for her father. His eldest daughter Lydia is a housewife with 3 children. Her husband, also educated in the United States, is a wealthy businessman. So is S.T.'s other son-in-law.
And next to my wife is George. He's my firstborn son. You've been working as for the past 12 years. George joined us 12 years ago. And he graduated from the Philadelphia College of Textile. In Chinese family tradition, the firstborn son is naturally obliged to the family to be the successor, as I do for my father, my grandfather. So he has less choice. He will continue my business. Now he's the manager.
James, the number 2 son, has thrown the family into turmoil by striking out on his own.
Took a holiday from the factory to a new field, a producer of film, a kung fu film. Right?
Right.
And probably will be finished in another...
About 2 months.
2 months' time. Then he will see. If he's very successful, he may quit the business.
It did take me a lot of effort to convince my father to let me leave his business and come out and do a film. A lot of problem, financing, this and that.
At first, I'm against, because I cannot really do anything to help if he needs help. For instance, if he's in the textile field, I have a kind of background, to support her if necessary, to support him if necessary.
When S.T. says background, he means a network of local and overseas Chinese, all interrelated through generations of kinship and mutual trust.
What delivery are you looking for?
June 15th.
That is impossible because...
Thomas Wu, for example, Calvin Klein's chief buyer for the Far East, went to school with S.T. when they were boys in Shanghai.
This is additional. We just got the sales. We have to rush it.
The best we can do, first week July, but I will try end of June.
Let's do this way.
Yes.
I prepare to fly instead of ship by boat.
Yes,
ST, try it.
Even S.T. King's leisure time is spent cementing business relationships. Once a week, he joins 11 other Shanghai business magnates at an exclusive private club for a banquet and some esoteric recreation. These men run Hong Kong. All were born in Shanghai and are avid amateur performers of classical opera. To indulge in this aristocratic hobby, they spare no expense. The cook who prepares the banquet is flown in each week from Shanghai, and the traditional orchestra, the finest in Hong Kong, is hired for several $1,000s for the afternoon. Etiquette requires the performers to turn their backs to the audience. The facial contortions required for proper delivery are considered too ugly to be inflicted on the listener. S.T. claims that opera is his only vice. Perhaps, but one thing is certain. It provides a welcome break from the pressures of the factory. The deadline on the Sassoon order is now only 6 days away. And the buying season is still in full swing. Martin Heinfling, managing director of Sergio Valente, has come to town with yet another test of ST's flexibility. Valente has a standing order with Wearbest for 100,000 pairs of basic denim jeans a month. Heinfling promises to increase the order to 150,000, but wants to include both basic jeans and more expensive fashion pants. The catch is, he wants to vary the mix of basics and fashions as market conditions dictate.
I want, say, half and a half, you know. You cut half of this regular program, you add here.
Esther, you know very well I cannot predict what's going to happen in the spring. I got to plan my production, then the number of styles or the percentage or ratio. Yeah. I cannot predict that. If I had a crystal ball, I'd be a genius. In making fashion, there's always problems. There are problems of slowness in the production. It takes longer to make it. There's always problems with the colors. There's always problems in delivery. For instance, the zipper factory does not deliver the color zippers on time, and the goods have been cut, and they want to stop making the jeans, so they have to stop production. In the basics, it's a standard year-round business. They have all the accessories available at 1 minute's notice. So what we do is we force them in a way to do the fashion by giving him enough basics to give me a certain percentage in fashion.
To fill the Sergio Valente order, ST needs more denim. He is able to get it because his own suppliers are as flexible as he is and always ready to make a deal. As with everything in Hong Kong, there is no going rate. The price is always negotiable.
The price of denim is not that strong. Everybody's cutting their price. So from my calculation, I am looking for a reduction at about 7 to 6% minimum.
The world inflation, I have to pay more money to the workers every month, and higher rent, and fuel is up, and electricity is up. From last time, $10, I have to sell this piece good at you at $10.50.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm looking for like $9.30 to start with.
That is impossible.
You know, the exchange rate means a very drastic drop in my income against US dollars. Yes. What I'm paying for you is Hong Kong dollars. What I receive is US dollars. Then the rate of exchange can kill me. And I don't see there's any upturning point.
But I have my own calculation. I cannot do anything lower than my cost. That will be losing money. We have to increase a little
during this slow economy, you know, we'll be very happy that we can both work, and a little loss seems to be unavoidable. I mean, to maintain our factory.
Compromise. Let's say $10 as before.
No, I'm really not afford to pay that. But, you know, I know you're difficult, Tony, but how about $9.70?
In response to Hong Kong's success in the American market, the United States has imposed a severe quota limitation on imports from the colony. Once a month, Hong Kong's largest manufacturers meet to advise Her Majesty's government on how to deal with this serious threat.
Protectionism, building a hidden cost and raises price, limits their choice and aggravates inflation.
The price goes up. It's
Yes.
the most basic law of economics, supply and demand. So the consumer pays more.
May I ask one question? What percentage Hong Kong import of fabric and garment to American market as a whole?
Hong Kong's the biggest supplier of imports to the United States. And at no time, I think, in our entire history, have we ever had more than 1.5% of American consumption.
How could 1.5% jeopardize their market and hurt their industry?
Well, there you're opening a very big question, Steve, which is a political one rather than an economic one, I suggest.
To get around the quota limitation, ST and his associates must move upmarket, selling the same number of garments but at higher prices. At the peak of the buying season, the millionaire owners of this neoclassical Chinese mansion relinquish the grounds to an army of caterers, security guards, and special effects men. ST and his friends are about to stage an evening spectacular designed to propel Hong Kong into the galaxy of high fashion alongside Paris, Milan, and New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you on behalf of the Hong Kong Trade Development Council to this evening's presentation. Tonight, the Council celebrates the visit to Hong Kong of some of the most respected leaders in the world's retail trade. I hope that all our guests enjoy an evening in Hong Kong.
ST and the others work the crowd. They must convince the Americans that Hong Kong is not merely a high-volume producer of jeans, but also a purveyor of high fashion. The initial response is encouraging.
I think in the show I've seen tonight, there's some beautiful fabrics. There's some interesting ideas. I think it tends to be a little more extreme than the things that we would sell in Bloomingdale's, but I think it shows some of the capacity of the Hong Kong market to produce things for us.
For George King, responsible for the Sassoon order, the future is only 2 days away when the shipping deadline arrives. The special order has moved through the finishing department into the final stages of production. Once the pants have been pressed, they are moved to the quality control room. Here, no matter how rushed the order, time stops. The quality controllers are older women, more patient and careful, and they are Wearbest's only employees paid on a daily wage rather than piece by piece. ST knows he must spend money on quality control in order to hold his American market. Even as the final 100 dozen pants are being inspected, George pushes the packing department to meet the deadline. And with only 12 hours to spare, the 75,000 pairs of Sassoon pants are boxed and ready to leave the port. Wearbest has filled the order. The speed and efficiency of Hong Kong's open port also works to ST's advantage. The very next morning, Wearbest's shipment clears the Kwai Chung container terminal and steams out of port bound for Los Angeles. The Sassoon order has earned ST $57,000 of his $3 million yearly profit. But ST is already hard at work on a new venture aimed at resolving Hong Kong's relation to China while assuring himself a nice profit margin.
Stan, this time, Wearbest would like to serve as a bridge to bring the East and the West together. I'll bring you the genuine silk shirts, crepe de chine, made in Shanghai, China, to be into the American stores. I also make sport shirts. The price are not quite different.
What about the price? What is the price?
Very close to. If retail or around $45, or around $45. I don't want it to be high. Because it makes no sense to compete, say, $65 with $60. Right?
Well, that's
but it makes sense $45 against $65 and a plus. Or maybe label merchandise in your country retail at $100+. I want to introduce to the customers, the consumers, how great, how valuable my silk shirt is. I'm very sure in 6 months, I hope, but surely in a year time, I'm going to ship to your country 20,000 to 40,000 dozens, not pieces. And you will enjoy it. And it's my pleasure. At that time, we talk about profit.
ST's newest strategy reveals a shrewd understanding of where Hong Kong's future lies. He is moving upmarket into the high-price fashion items which are the only solution to the quota problem. And his product will come from mainland China, where the colony's destiny will be decided. In both his tireless pursuit of profit and his sensitivity to shifts in the winds of trade, ST King proves himself to be the very model of a Hong Kong entrepreneur.
This program was presented by WGBH-TV, which is solely responsible for its content. Enterprise is co-produced with Learning Corporation of America.